He'll not want to be the first skipper since 1959 to lose the Ashes over here in Great Britain. He's looking for a fourth successive Ashes win here in 82, 86 and 90. Well led by Leon Cronin. And everyone, Steve, waiting for the action now.
The atmosphere here is enormous, and every supporter here, whether it be they're going for Australia or Great Britain, they're going to get a great game today, and both teams are fully prepared, and I think you're going to see a great game of rugby league.
Cheers and good-natured boos for the Australian side, and I'm sure a huge roar when the Great Britain lads finally arrive on this Old Trafford pitch. Mal Meninga about to bow out of his international career at Elland Road in 2 weeks' time. Steve, when Great Britain came out and that anthem was played, you looked at me and you gasped.
I did. It was just, the feeling was awesome, really. I don't know how the Australians felt, but I can tell you, the crowd is certainly behind Great Britain here, and for the home team, the feeling inside them must be had their spirits very high.
Well, we can see something of the fervour and the excitement from this British crowd as we prepare for the two anthems, Advance Australia Fair and God Save the Queen. Great Britain 80 minutes away from Ashes success, possibly inspired by that 12-man Wembley win. National anthem. ceremony's over, the roar again. Let battle commence, I think, is what is on everyone's mind. The second John Smith's test. Graham Annesley to officiate from Australia. He returns to Sydney tomorrow, his job on the highways. Phil Clark makes his debut as skipper, only Harold Wagstaff in 1914 and Brian Noble 70 years later captaining their country at 23 years of age, and at 34 years of age, Mal Meninga. The pitch really is in tip-top condition. We've had plenty of rain here in the north this week, but a drying night, dry this morning, very good conditions underfoot for running rugby. I think Graham Annesley is just telling the two captains, I want good, clean game. Martin O'Fire, again the try scorer supreme, yet in that Wembley test we saw him more in a defensive vein. Any one of these players could lift the game, none more so than that man, Ricky Stewart, the hero here 4 years ago with that injury time try created for Mal Meninga. So, the second John Smith's test. Will Great Britain take the Ashes? Will Australia level the series? We'll know when Mr. Annesley blows that whistle in 80 minutes' time. And Rod Wishart to kick off. Andy Farrell and Mal Meninga straight into the tackle. Determination on the faces of both sides. You think, Joe, Great Britain would just want to get a feel of the ball, hold it in the forwards for a while, or?
Yeah, I think it's the platform situation again. You know, they've got to build confidence as well. They have to retain the ball for these first 6 tackles and progress up the field ready for that kick, the all-important kick and chase.
Tremendous probe there from Carl Harrison. Not the best of the play the balls, taken by Lee Jackson. And here is the kick that Joe was talking about, Ben Steadman. Oh, and a good kick that puts Mullins right back on his own try line. And Steve, that's a good chase from Great Britain.
It is a good chase. I think the team that has the best kicking game and chase game will probably come out on top today, because it's going to be vital for both teams to get a lot of good yardage from their kicks.
But referee Annesley has ruled that Great Britain encroached within the 10-metre area. You must allow the kicker to catch the ball 10 metres away. A relieving kick. And Australia's turn to just have a touch of that ball. All the forwards will want to get a hold of it in these early stages. And offside. Oh, and there's trouble already. We don't want this in this game. I know that passions are high, but really this is a disciplined game. It's a disciplined 80 minutes that both sides should be showing. Bobby Goulding perhaps a little too worked up for his own good, and certainly for Great Britain's good.
It's the fiery part of the game here. Bobby Goulding continued with the tackle after the referee had blown the whistle. And I think Dean Page just put a little forearm into his face, and Bobby took exception to that.
Yeah, you don't need it at the start of the game. It's bad play from both teams, actually. They're all excited, the nerves are up, but that's not the way to play a game of rugby league. The team that settles down the best after this will probably be the team that can go on and maybe capitalise on this early in the game.
And Graham Annesley sensibly having a word with both captains, telling the two of them that he wants a good game, a clean game. And here we see Goulding going a little high. He is a little upset by the raised elbow with Dean Pay, but no need for it. And let's hope we don't see any more.
It's 2 penalties in a row they've given away now, Great Britain. That was a great kick and chase, as we said before, but now Australia's on the attack through undisciplined play.
And Great Britain have lost the advantage. It's Australia now on the attack. Using these short passes and using the forwards very effectively around the rucks. Stewart, number 7, to Daly. Daly recovered from that dead leg that he received at Wembley. Hasn't played for a fortnight. Whether there'll be any ring rustiness, we'll see. Good quick pass. Stewart. Oh, a slap pass there from Ricky Stewart. He was expecting the forward to come onto it. He didn't. A let-off for Great Britain. And Jason Robinson doing good work there, bringing the ball away. And offside. Well, certainly in Australia they play a very, very wide 10-metre rule. And Mr. Annesley putting it into operation.
Great Britain have weathered that first storm, Ray. They've done exceptionally well. They did give those 2 penalties away. But now they're back in Australian territory, and it's Australians' turn to make mistakes.
It certainly is, and Laurie Daly went in then again with that raised arm. This referee from Sydney has got to quieten tempers. Now then, a kick, and I think he should go for goal, and he is going for goal.
You see here, they've gone in. It was a penalty for offside to start off with, and then he's in straight away, Graham Annesley. What he has to do now, and that the penalties will come if the teams are encroaching in the 10 metres, he'll give the penalties, because after that flare off, he doesn't want it to happen again, so he'll try to keep them apart as much as he can.
Many kickers would not relish this chance at goal so early in such an important match, but Bobby Goulding, just 22 years of age, he never shirks from responsibility. And Sean Edwards, Jonathan Davis, Kevin Ellis there, the sporting a black eye from the Wales encounter with Australia. And Bobby Goulding then looking for 2 points to inspire Great Britain. By far from being the easiest of kicks, 25 metres out. Oh, the roar goes up and it just sneaks inside the upright. So, Bobby Goulding, confident little youngster. 2 points from Goulding's trusty boot, and Great Britain go in the lead, 2-0.
A great confidence booster for Great Britain and for Bobby. His first kick, it only just sneaked over the bar, but it's 2 points, and 2 points that Great Britain will, I'm sure, relishing.
Well, we heard Bobby Goulding talking about pressure before kick-off. He certainly can manage it for one so young. And there is another youngster, just 19 years of age, Andy Farrell. Phil Clark. A time for disciplined play in this 20-metre area. Carl Harrison, the powerful Halifax prop forward. Dennis Betts almost breaking through. I think, Joe, Dennis having a great season after a rest in the summer.
Yeah, it's hard to play back-to-back football, to go to overseas. The rest has done him good. He's obviously built up strength-wise in the gym, and he's playing some of his best football.
Good tackling again. Steve Renouf trying to come away. And down on the pitch there we have Richard Duckingfield.
Well, apart from 2 points, Australia have another slight problem, Ray. Laurie Daly has a scratch in his left eye. It's probably a scratch to the retina. They've put some ointment into it, and they're going to see how it goes. If you need an example of the confidence of the Australians, they all chipped in before the match, raised £1,000, wanted to bet on the outcome of this game. Ominously, there were no takers.
We've seen every time Great Britain get into the Australia half, a penalty against them, Steve.
Yeah, well, he was holding down there, but I just think, as I said before, Graham's going to be pretty tough on anything that happens at this stage of the game because of what happened before.
Australia now looking dangerous, 12 metres out. Steve Walters and Stewart controlling here in midfield. To Daly. That long pass outside. There's Bradley Clyde lurking out wide. That's where he picks up his tries. And there's a penalty. A penalty again against Graham Steadman. Look for offside. He's certainly very insistent, is Mr. Annesley.
There's been reports in the press by Bob Fulton, the Australian coach, saying that he wanted Great Britain to be kept back. The referee pulls Graham Steadman out there for an offside. You have to keep that 10 metres away.
Joe, he let the game go then to see if Australia could score, and then he give the penalty. He never give it straight away.
So, Rod Wishart, who has been brought in specifically for goal kicking. He kicked a record 12 goals against Sheffield Eagles 10 days ago. Record 12 goals for any Kangaroo on tour in a match. And has amassed 96 points in 5 matches. From the Illawarra Steelers club, just outside Sydney there in New South Wales. Wishart then, attempting to level the scores, and he does. So, Bobby Fulton's gamble of bringing the wing Rod Wishart in to the exclusion of Saylor, proving an early success.
Well, another great kick there. It's a little bit of indiscipline really by both sides. Has given the 2 points on both occasions.
No mean try scorer as well, Wishart. Oh, that's good solid tackling from Darryl Powell, number 6 for Great Britain. That looked a little high. Then Lazarus, been plagued with leg injuries last season, just returning to form on this tour. Powerful man, Lazarus. Stewart already beginning to control things in midfield. Has a very good kicking game. Easily picked up by Steadman. Another penalty, I'm sure. Graham Steadman can afford to laugh. I think he knows he's got the kick to touch. But the touch judge there, coming on to talk. And there we see that right-hand punch go in from Meninga. Mr. Duckworth spotted it. Not on from the Kangaroo skipper.
Meninga wanted to make one of his first tackles felt, push Steadman to the floor, and then just follows in with the elbow on the forearm.
Chris Joints, normally second row, had a very good game at prop last week, and once again offside. Well, Lee Jackson thought he was through, but no, the whistle had gone. Again for offside, and both these sides will have to respect Mr. Annesley's decision. He intends to have the sides 10 metres apart. It is for the good of the game. We want an open game, and just look at those penalties conceded, Steve.
Well, it's no fault of the referees. He's going by the rules and he's being consistent with both teams. But he's the most important man out there at the moment. We're noticing him more than the two teams. They've both got to settle down and stop giving away these penalties.
One of the top whistlers in Sydney, works for the local highways department. So Goulding with a kick, 34 metres from the post, directly in front. He's taken the goal kicking duties over at St Helens. He really does relish goal kicking. He's not a player to shirk from the duty. That's why he doesn't shirk from the duty. Perfectly angled, straight through the post. Britain in the lead again, 4-2.
I don't think Bobby Golding was shirk from any duty on the field. Tremendous talent, and another 2 points there.
Andy Farrell, product of the local amateur sides in Wigan. And Jason Robinson, a product of the Hunslet Parkside amateurs, the same team that Gary Schofield originated from. Chris Joynt. Australian tackling as sound as ever. Phil Clark. A lot of responsibility on this young man. Plunged into the captaincy at Wembley when Edwards was dismissed. Darryl Powell. Oh, he did well to get that ball away. Kept it going well. Fire to Alan Hunt. Good cover tackling there by Ettingshausen. Fire can't get this ball away on the fit tackle. Oh, that's a forward pass. Martin Fire rather panicking there on the fifth tackle. He knew the ball should have been kicked.
I think panic was the right word, Ray. He knew how to get rid of the ball, for somebody to kick it downfield, and in the end he threw it anywhere, a forward pass to Jackson.
Andrew Ettingshausen just wanting some resin, I think, on his hands. Very slippery. Australia on the attack again, using Ettingshausen. Stewart, Daly, Fittler, good pass to Renouf. Gary Connolly did a very good job at Wembley on Steve Renouf, cut down that blistering pace. We've seen that should be another 6 tackles. It was knocked down by Bobby Goulding. It is. Mullins driving in, well taken by Meninga. He's got Ettingshausen on this outside. Steadman and Fire up to the job. But it's Australia now, all out attack, swinging this ball from side to side. Fittler trying to use that sidestep. Oh, a fortunate ball on the floor there to pay to Lazarus. Lazarus, he's got support on this side. The dummy, but I think it was a crossing. It was. Great Britain did well to hold on there, but Glenn Lazarus showing skills for a prop forward.
Great Britain using scrambling defence here to keep Australia out. Lazarus tried to show the ball to Mullins to give the pass. Mullins ran in front of him, and that's an obstruction and a penalty to Great Britain.
Another example of the insistence of the referee in this match. He's spoken at least twice to Ricky Stewart, saying, keep your mouth shut, I'm in charge of this game. And a number of the Australians have had their hands sprayed to take the damp and the moisture off them, obviously finding it difficult to handle a slightly greasy ball.
Just over 16 minutes gone in this first half here at Old Trafford. Do you think, Steve, Great Britain have done well to hold this position for the first 16 minutes?
They've done very well. In Australia, I've noticed that I think in this first part of the game, they've thrown the ball out wide more times than they did in the whole of the game at Wembley.
Well, we were told that would be their tactic. Dennis Betts looking to burst open this green and gold defence. On the fifth tackle, Goulding electing to running it. Ooh, just too far, but look at Jason Robinson go. He slid along that floor. Always alert to a chance, the Wigan youngster. Possession 71% for Australia, Joe.
Well, it's early in the game yet. I mean, those statistics, you can't really judge how the game's going to go off that. But they have had a lot of ball to start the game.
Stewart, first receiver, that's a good long pass to Daly, to Renouf. Renouf now, then he's got some space and he's got speed, but a tremendous tackle from Phil Clark there, aided by Darryl Powell. Stevie Walters been given too much room there at the ruck.
That's the kind of running that Walters, we didn't see much of him at Wembley doing that.
Renouf, again Great Britain not cutting down at the ruck there. 15 metres from the Great Britain line. Stewart launches the high one. A tricky one for Connolly. Oh, it's knocked on. I thought for 1 minute that Dean Pay was going to pick that ball up and go over. And Mr. Annesley once again dishing out these penalties. And a very good relieving kick though, Steve, from Graham Steadman.
It is, he's got a lot of territory. They seem to be doing things very fast. So if you get a penalty, they're taking the kick fast and they're going up for the tap to take that quick.
Goulding. Harrow. Looked for support, thought better of it. Dennis Betts. Again, oh, that's a bad loss, but it's picked up by Joints. It was, well, it didn't look a knock-on to me, I must confess. The ball seeming to go behind.
Dennis Betts takes the tackle here, and something, yeah, the collision makes the ball come out.
Yeah, he just trod on his head there. It was accidental, but Ian Robertson's got a bad start into the face, I'd say. He's in a lot of pain there.
Well, he's certainly a very big lad and a very hard lad, is Ian Roberts. He doesn't go down to the ground for nothing. Urgent attention.
I think you see, Jay, he just foot caught him. It was accidental, but it's I think it's a bad injury to Ian Roberts.
Yeah, Ian Roberts went low in the tackle, and as Dennis was trying to carry on with his momentum, just caught what seemed to be the upper part of his face.
Referee just holding up proceedings while Ian Roberts goes off with that cut to the forehead, just above the eye. And here we see accidental, I think. And Greg Florimore making his Test debut. Been in very good form on this tour, the North Sydney back rower. Over 200 games for North Sydney. Daly trying to create space, but again a good tackle by Connolly. And Daly didn't like being tackled by Connolly. Darryl Powell doing a very good stint in defence, coming from behind, acting as a sweeper. Fittler to Meninga, already far more into this game than he was at Wembley. I think very determined to prove himself. Clyde using the long grubber kick to put pressure on Steadman. Robinson. He does a good job, Joe, your Wigan teammate Robinson, coming away from the line.
He's got many good points when he's playing the game, Ray, but that's an exceptional help to the forwards. He brings it away with power and pace, and with him being so low to the ground, it's very hard for the forwards that are in the kick chase to tackle him.
Chris Joints. Powell.
News of Ian Roberts, who's gone off into the dressing room for attention. It's a 3 or 4 inch gash. It starts above his right eyebrow, goes down to his right cheekbone, so stitches at least there.
Well, technically Ian Roberts is in the blood bin at the moment, but with an injury like that, it's well, it's doubtful whether we'll see him. Australia using this Canterbury Bankstown forward, Dean Pay, quite a lot on this tour. Very, very quick for a forward. Stewart's, Fittler. And another one very quick for a forward. Number 13 here, Brad Fittler. Stand off, and there is Pay, taking a breather. Clyde. Great Britain line, holding. Stewart's. Good tackle. Very good tackle by Alan Hunt there on Meninga. Knocked him out of his stride. And the giant Kangaroo skipper couldn't put the pass in. On the fifth tackle, the ball going into touch, so the handover.
I thought by now, Ray, that Ricky Stewart might have put some chip kicks up, because Great Britain's moving up very fast in defence, and they haven't got any cover there. Bobby Goulding a lot is up in the line, and it's another option for him.
Martin Offiah having running repairs to the fingers. Betts taking the ball up an awful lot in this match. Dennis Betts in his last season with Wigan, due to join the Auckland Warriors. Clark. England using different angles of attack there. Phil Clark coming in from out wide off that pass. Simple, straight angle of attack. Oh, it was a risky pass. It was well intended from Lee Jackson, but he might have been better, I think, Joe, just setting up the position.
Possibly. There was a half chance there. If the pass had gone to hand, to a Great Britain hand, there was a chance of a try, but it didn't come off.
Sometimes they do come off, and when they do, they are match winners. Lazarus getting through an awful lot of work around these rucks, this 18-stone prop.
Well, Ray, they thought that fitness might have been so worried with him, but so far he's shown that he's doing okay, and he's made a lot of yards up the middle.
We're just looking at these play the balls, Steve. You know, we should have a double marker. At times, though, we haven't got a double marker, have we?
No, I noticed with Australia also, both teams, I think the game's that fast, and they're trying to play it that quick, and they're going on with it. It is hard sometimes to have two markers there.
I think the pace of the game is a big factor in it. Neither team seems to have settled into a pattern, but this is a great kick of Ricky Stewart's to turn Great Britain back, turn them round and put the scrum down in the corner.
Australia, just slightly the heavier pack. Bobby Goulding to feed on this near side. Darryl Powell, 15 minutes remaining in this first half. I'm sure Great Britain boss Ellery Hanley will be very pleased with this scoreline. 4 points to 2. Phil Clark, oh, a little bit of a wild pass, but picked up by Robinson, so no danger. Connolly. And there is Ellery Hanley. He looks calm at this stage. The switch by Goulding to Farrow, but a good tackle again by Dean Pay. Powell. Good short pass, but it was well read by Meninga. Fierce tackle by the Great Britain skipper, and a penalty against Meninga for pushing Betts over. Interference at the play the ball. Mal Meninga's protesting, but Mr. Annesley says, look, away you go.
It wasn't the best of balls, was it? I think there were coffin handles on that for Dennis Betts when he caught it. But the Australian captain, Mal Meninga, just holding Dennis Betts.
And it's just one piece of indiscipline like that that can change this match. Great Britain now on the attack. Chris Joint. And Bobby Fulton, well, shaking his head, perhaps not happy at the moment. Steadman, Alan Hunt. Can't escape Wishart, clinging to his foot. Again, Lee Jackson, outstanding at Wembley around that play-the-ball area. And a lot of these players are gaining ground from the play-the-ball area. People not marking there. Goulding, probing. Oh, interception by Meninga. Now then, has the 34-year-old got the pace to go the length of the field? I don't think he has. Martin Offiah's got him, but Andrew Ettingshausen has. He's in at the corner. Well, the risky pass. Australia snapped onto it. And a try at the other end. Ettinghausen grabbed the try, but it was that man Meninga, the giant skipper. I doubted whether he had the pace, but he did.
A long ball from Bobby Goulding, didn't come off. Mal Meninga intercepted, but just watch Andrew Ettinghausen here. Did superbly well, not only to catch up with his captain, gets on the outside of him and takes the pass when Martin Offiah makes the tackle. He's on his outside here. Meninga's noise will be somewhere around. Beautiful ball, and Ettinghausen goes over in the corner. Great support play.
As you see Big Mal here, Andrew Ettinghausen, you see there, he changes direction. He sees it still on. You see him, he's calling, he's yelling for the ball. And now he just can't make it, but he makes that dive. Dives straight over. A great effort. It was good work all round. Maybe history's repeating itself here, Ray.
Yes, I think we've spoken about Meninga's influence here, Steve, but let's give praise to Andrew Ettinghausen, the Cronulla wingman. He tracks Meninga, he then cuts back outside, he avoids the Great Britain men, and then that dive, that's brave. He gets down and he's in.
Well, what was happening there, you could see Andrew talking. Andrew would have been talking to Mal, saying the defence is coming this way, that way. He'd have been telling Mal which way he's going to come and get the ball. And right at the last minute, Mal Meninga's timed his pass to perfection, and Ettinghausen scored in the corner.
Rod Wishart then, difficult kick from the touchline. Round the corner style. Looks to be going to the inside. Yes, it is. So, no conversion, just 6 points to 4 for Australia. But what a strike back there by the Kangaroos.
It was Great Britain that were pressing. There was a chance of scoring. If that ball had gone past Meninga, there was a 2-to-1 overlap. But Meninga's got experience. He read the situation, came in, made the intercept, an interception, and then you see him glance over his shoulder. See Ettinghausen outside him, and that's 4 points to Australia.
Not only blessed with speed, Ettinghausen, but a very brave effort in the corner there. Lazarus. We mentioned earlier that despite losing first tests, Australia have a habit of coming back. They've done it 5 times to take the Ashes. Fittler. Great Britain have let Fittler go. He's got Renouf inside him. Just 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Great Britain have got to be sure in defence now. Australia looking confident. Walters. Roddy Daly. Mr. Hammersley screaming for the Great Britain players to get away. Vicky Stewart, nice body shimmy there, still manages to get the ball away. A high kick from Walters. Oh, well taken by Alan Hunt. A fire. Powell. That try seems to have stunned Great Britain, Joe. They look in need of regrouping.
Yeah, it's rocked them a little bit. It's now up to Phil Clark to get his players together, get their minds focused again, and get back into this game.
Alan Hunt. Chris Joint. Australia moving up much more quickly in defence than they did at Wembley. Carl Harrison looks to be one British forward to create problems around that ruck area. Graham Steadman. Australia just sensibly holding on to this ball here, close to the play the ball. Glenn Florimo, a real hard worker, this substitute from North Sydney. Half back and loose forward. Phil Clark getting through an awful amount of tackling, the number 13, setting an example as skipper. Stewart, the dummy, back to Meninga. Oh, this is good play from Australia. They're switching this ball now. Dean Payne. Great Britain on the back foot at the moment. Stewart. Again, a tester for Robinson. Well, play on. No Great Britain player went for that ball. Here's a chance for Australia again. Steve Walters. Back to Daly. They've got an overlap here. Oh, and it looks as if Bradley Clyde is in there. Well, that all came from indecision on Great Britain's part. No one went to take the responsibility for that high kick. And Australia's Bradley Clyde accepted the opportunity. And a further 4 points for the tourists. Delight at last on those Australian faces. 10-4 for Australia. And Great Britain up against it.
Rule number one, when the bomb's put in the air, somebody has to make the decision to go for it. Everybody stood off. I think there were 3 Great Britain players there around the ball. They let it bounce. Australia get possession back through a Mullins tap down, and then just keep the ball alive.
And there we see, Joe, it's simple, isn't it? Clyde going for the line himself. Rule number one from the Rugby League coaching manual, that when the ball goes up in the air, one man shouts for it, stands underneath, and the other 2 get behind to cover. For eventualities like this, Australia still keep the ball going, and the gap's there.
As I said before, they've used the ball more in this half of rugby league than they did in the entire Wembley game. They seem to be into the mode now that they want to spread the ball out wide, and that's where the holes are going to be.
Wishart. Right-footed, slots it between the posts. So Wishart then proving his value this afternoon as a goal kicker. And the Australian fans sensing that all is not lost in this Ashes series. 12-4 for the Kangaroos.
The ball's just kept alive here. There's a little bit of luck there. I think it came off Darryl Powell. Laurie Daly spins it out wide. Bradley Clyde has men outside him, but decides to retain the ball and just crash over the line using his strength.
Just over 5 minutes remaining in this first half, and certainly, Steve, Great Britain have not got to concede any more points, have they?
Well, they can't now, especially before half-time, because it's a vital period right now. They don't need to have any more points scored against them now.
Lazarus and Clyde, the try scorer. And some people said, was Meninga finished after that first Wembley test? But he's certainly been in the action here this afternoon. Robinson. Good piece of running by Robinson. Evades a couple of chasers there.
An update on the Australian forward, Ian Roberts. He'll carry the marks of this game for a very long time afterwards. He's taken about 20 stitches in the face, and the Aussie bench have confirmed that he won't be coming back into the match.
Great Britain battling to get back into this game. Harrison. In a way, Joe, do you not think that we're carrying it too much forward in the pack?
Well, I was interested to hear Jonathan Davis's comments before the game, saying that we're going to try and promote the Great Britain attack, that they were very defence orientated in the first test. It did work, but in this test they were going to try and play it a little bit wider and attack Australia. So far they haven't done that, and as you said, that they're a little bit condensed and playing the game up the middle of the field.
Certainly nothing wrong with the Australian attack. Perhaps we're trying to contain them a little too much, as we did in 1990, but here is Rod Wishart. He's got Steadman to beat. Oh, he goes past Steadman, but Gary Connolly gets back. Defence-saving tackle there by Gary Connolly. But Australia want to quick play the ball. They get one to Fickler. Fickler turns inside to Mullins. Mullins going towards the line, and he's over. And a try. Australia running riot here in this first half. Brett Mullins started that movement way back in the Aussie 20-metre area, and Brett Mullins from Canberra Raiders finishes the movement beneath the post. Australia roaring back.
This was the break that did it. Wishart went straight up the middle of the field, through the forwards for Great Britain. Nobody laid a finger on him until Gary Connolly got there. Then a quick play of the ball, while Great Britain is still trying to regroup in defence. And that's the worst thing you can do. You can't afford the Australians time to attack. They bring the ball back inside. There's Mullins on the inside. And that's a great try there. Australia played superb football, almost a full length of the field.
It certainly is, but there's a real confidence about these Kangaroos at the moment. Stewart is directing operations. Those passes and Fickler in midfield. Those two providing the opportunities for this tall, long-striding Canberra Raiders fullback, Brett Mullins.
You notice there, Ray, the man that tried to tackle Mullins was also Connolly, who made the chase to tackle over there. I think Great Britain, they talked about their defence. he's probably saved 3 or 4 tries already, Gary Connolly. I mean, the rest of them, I think, aren't doing their job in defence, where and Australia seems to be attacking his side all the time, but he's certainly he's not letting them down in defence, Gary Connolly.
And Wishart with the simplest of conversions, taking Australia even further out. 18 points to 4 now, and still awaiting the half-time hooter. I don't think any of these Great Britain boys expected this, Joe.
Not at all. This is the replay again of Mullins. It's very elusive in a very, very tight space. There's Connolly, tries to get to him, but he just can't hold him back from over the line.
Great Britain's Steadman then to kick off, and Great Britain in desperate need of points. Lazarus, I said earlier, he's had a very quiet start to this tour. He had leg injuries in Australia. Larimo.
He's a big game player, Ray. I think when you're a big time player, and if your form's a little bit off, when you come to big games, you always lift yourself.
And there is another big game player, a big player in every sense of the word, Mal Meninga. Offside. Alan Hunt going around at the play of the ball. Mr. Annesley having no truck.
There's Alan Hunt there. He's over anxious. He wasn't even at the marker and he's come round before the ball was even played.
Dean Pay.
I think it's very important now, Ray, that Great Britain don't start to panic. You know, don't start to throw even more stupid passes around, trying in their attempt to claw Australia back or to stop Australia's tide at the moment. They have to play sensible football and just try and gradually get back into the game. They shouldn't play panic football.
Australia have certainly been attack-minded on this tour. 356 points they had recorded before kick-off. And that Ettingshausen try on the wing reminds me they've had 16 tries on the wing, so that's indicative of the way they move this ball, as we can see now. Here it goes again. Renouf. Hand over into stoppage time. A fire. Now then, can a fire create some space there with Connolly? No, he can't. Robinson. Goulding trying to get these forwards moving. Farrell. But this Australian defence packed in midfield, deploying a sort of wedge defensive system, very, very tight around the play of the ball, and then sliding across field. Jeff Card and Bobby Fulton waiting for the half-time whistle. Goulding being tracked sideways, as is Hunt. Great Britain being forced on the back foot, Steve.
They are. There's not too many holes out there in the Australian defence at the moment.
Dennis Betts being rather forced into that kick. Oh, back flick back, picked up by Ricky Stewart. Lurking with intent there, but the half-time hooter goes. Not the best of opening 40 minutes for Great Britain, but all credit to Australia. They fairly blitzed that Great Britain line for those 18 points. Glenn Lazarus walking off there, and a lot for those Great Britain forwards to do. The breaks have to be made in midfield. Players there like Chris Joynt and Carl Harrison have got to provide the movement for the halfbacks. But that man Meninga having an influential role once again. No disrespect, but I'm sure Great Britain will be glad to see the back of him when he retires at the end of this tour. The big crowd enjoying themselves, but Australia treating to the better spectacle. I think Ellery Hanley will have plenty to say, Joe.
Yeah, he'll have to calm his players down first and foremost. He'll have to get them in the changing rooms and say, listen lads, we've been playing mistake football. We've given Australia chances, although Australia have played very well and scored out wide and split, but he has to calm his own players down. He has to get instilled into them that they have to be disciplined and try and attack Australia when they get the chance.
And we can see enough penalties conceded there. 6 to Great Britain, 7 to Australia.
Well, our thanks to Ray French, to Joe Lydon and Steve Sims for their thoughts on the first half. Let's now get the thoughts of Jonathan Davis, who's moved down from his position in the stand. Jonathan, a desperate last 20 minutes there for Great Britain. What do you see as having gone wrong?
I think they try to play too much football at the moment, and they threw a few loose balls, missed a few tackles, and that was the difference. You know, if you miss tackles against this Aussie side, you're going to get beat, and that's what's happening at the moment.
Do you now see Australia as being totally in command? It seems that way, doesn't it?
Well, you know, like I said, the last 20 minutes they've took control, and you know, I think Great Britain were happy to hear the half-time hooter. But you know, anything can happen out there in the second half. If they get the game together, you know, stick to the game plan, put some high balls up, and you know, hopefully we come back into the game.
Give us your view of the first Australian try, which I think we can show you now. And it came from what was a promising attacking position for Great Britain.
Yeah, I think, you know, Bobby was looking for you know, the movement out wide. He went to the left, there was an overlap there, and he threw a long ball. Unfortunately, Martin read it well. He moved up in the line, took the ball and went for the line. Martin fired and great to get back and cut him down, but unfortunately he slipped a great ball to Ettinghausen and he scored in the corner. You know, Great Britain were playing well at that particular time and knocked the stuffing out of them.
Has to be said, it was outstanding support here from Ettinghausen, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. You know, he's a great player. He scored plenty of tries at the end of the season in Australia, and he followed Mal. Maybe he thought the old legs wouldn't get him there, and he made the most of it.
Bit of an ambitious pass that from Bobby Goulding, but it was a promising British position, wasn't it?
It was, unfortunately. You've got to try things. You know, if you want to win Test matches, you've got to try things, and you know, it's you know, toss of the coin whether you come up good or bad. And unfortunately, Bobby threw the long ball, and Mal read it well. You know, it's not Bobby's fault. It's just good reading by Mal.
Indeed not. Well, that really rocked the Lions, and the second try wasn't too far behind. Your view on this? Great indecision, wasn't it?
Yeah, the bomb went up, and like, you know, nobody likes to be under the high ball when it goes up, you know, and they took their opportunity. They kept the ball alive. That's the main thing here. You know, Walters took the ball in. You know, they should have dropped the ball up there, but he got, you know, the ball out somehow. Laurie Daly created the overlap, and you know, once Bradley Clyde had the ball, he was always going to score there.
Did you see at this point the concentration having gone just a little?
It's difficult to say. You know, when you go behind against the Australian side, they're always difficult to beat, and you know, I think you're in a difficult position now. You've got to try and keep your game plan and also play, you know, catch-up football. And we're trying to throw the ball about a little bit too much, and you know, they crucified for us. And the last try for them before half-time was, you know, as far as Australia concerned, the icing on the cake.
Yes, and here it is. It just really underlined the Australian domination. Came from Brett Mullins, Jonathan.
Same thing again, Steve. You know, they broke the first line defence. Watch the marker play here. You've got to watch the Australians on marker play. It's up, straight up. You know, it breaks the first line. I know you're catching up then, you're scrambling defence, and you're always in difficulty. And Gary Conley makes a fantastic tackle there, but he tries to slow the play the ball down, but up it gets, and they've always got numbers on us. And if they hadn't scored here, we'd have done well. But what happens here is Ricky Stewart feigns to throw the ball wide, a long ball again. But as the defence is scrambling out wide, the inside ball, and there we are. You know, Mullins slips the first tackle and he's over near the post. So, you know, it's always difficult once they break the first line.
With the Rob Wishart conversion, it means 14-point deficit. In all honesty, can you see a way back?
It's be very, very difficult because, like I said earlier on, play football and catch up against these. It's always difficult because they play a pattern where, you know, they play and defend very, very well. But who knows, in Test football, nobody expected us to win last week, and we've done it. And it needs a big effort from the lads now, but there's enough footballers in the side. It's a very mobile side. I'm sure, as in the second half in last fortnight ago, they tired very much the Australians, and they throw the ball, you know, about and keep it alive. I'm sure they've got a great chance.
Okay, Jonathan, thanks very much indeed. Are you heading down to the dressing room now?
I don't think so. You know, once you're injured, you're out of the game. You're out of it, unfortunately. You know, my best wishes will be with them from the stand, and hopefully they can make it.
Let's take you straight back to Old Trafford, where Great Britain really up against it in the second test against the Australian tourists, trailing 18-4 with the second half poised to get underway. will rejoin Ray French, and changes have been made.
Yes, changes have been made. Britain trailing, as you indicate, 18 points to 4, but those changes are significant, very significant in fact. Gary Schofield comes on for his 45th Test cap, and Paul Newlove, the acknowledged as one of the world's best centres, also comes on. There is Gary Schofield achieving a record 6 Ashes series, and we were only commenting at half-time, Joe, that we would have brought the pair of them on, wouldn't we?
Yeah, changes have to be made. Great Britain have to start attacking Australia a little bit wider, and the two players they've brought off can do that.
Great Britain then have got to really hold Australia here, and I think then go on the attack. And there is Paul Newlove, powerful centre from Bradford Northern, but been out injured for 2 or 3 weeks. Martin O'Fire. Alan Hunt and Darryl Powell withdrawing from the action for Newlove and Schofield. Robinson. But Great Britain, Steve, really got to throw caution to the wind now. They've got to attack, haven't they?
They have to. At the moment, there's just panic coming out straight away. They've thrown a couple of bad passes. They've seen a little bit of 6 and 7s. They've just got to settle down and play the way they want to play, not the way the Australians are trying to make them play.
Schofield and Goulding. Oh, good ball to Newlove. Just couldn't get away. Taken by his ankle. Schofield in the action with Goulding straight away. A partnership together at Leeds. Beautifully judged by Ettingshausen.
Just a confirmation from the Great Britain bench that both the substitutes, both Newlove and Schofield, were for tactical reasons, and of course under international rules it means that the 2 players who've been replaced cannot come back.
But another 2 substitutions can be made, 4 substitutes per side as Australia hit back. And it's that man Stewart again, and here Meninga. These long passes of Stewart finding the way out to this big Kangaroo skipper. Stewart again in midfield. Renouf did well to just get hold of that. But the ball fairly whipping along this. Oh, Laurie Daly's found a gap, and he's gone straight through. Oh, a huge gap there, as wide as the M1. Laurie Daly found it, and that surely is the try that really will set those Kangaroo fans alight. They sensed, I think, a comeback from Great Britain.
Laurie Daly picked out Carl Harrison there, flat-footed him, just a little bit of a step, went to his right and crashed over. But he picked him out in the defensive line and ran at the forward, ran at the prop forward.
You see here, he's very quick off the mark, Laurie Daly. Carl hasn't moved forward. The Great Britain team, like at Wembley, they were up quick, they were back quick. Today they seem to be flat-footed all the time. They're not moving forward.
Yes, I think that Great Britain certainly sensed that with Newlove and Schofield coming on, there may be a change of direction. But we see once again this man Wishart attempting the conversion. And Australian fans replying to the taunts of the British fans as they filed out of Wembley a couple of weeks ago. Wishart then, looking for a 4th goal. Not a difficult kick. And he finds the 2 points. Australia moving out wider. 24 points to 4, and proving that Old Trafford really is a happy hunting ground for the Kangaroos. They've won here twice previously.
Laurie Daly, so many times people say he's out of the game, he's having a quiet game, then all of a sudden he explodes onto the scene. And on this occasion grabs 4 points along with it.
Steadman. Lazarus. The ball frequently finding this man, Laurie Daly. Clyde. Graham Annesley just wants a word with Lee Jackson and Carl Harrison.
Bradley Clyde takes it in there. Carl Harrison, who missed the tackle on Laurie Daly for the try.
Yep, a high tackle there around the neck from Carl Harrison. Stewart. And here we see, well, that's high. I think Carl Harrison did well not to have something sterner from Mr. Annesley. Fittler. But Australia oozing confidence now. Walters. And it's in midfield, Joe, where Australia are in command, isn't it? It's Walters, Fittler.
All of them. And also they're keeping the ball alive. In the tackle, Great Britain think they have the man down, and the tackle's been completed, but they get rid of the ball, and once again you're on defence straight away.
Lorimo.
They've got to stop them from offloading. They're just letting them stand and offload too easily.
Daly. Fittler looking to put Renouf through. Renouf, oh, he stumbled. He had plenty of gaps. And Great Britain did extremely well to get back there. Just a metre from the line. He's lost the ball. Yes, Graham Annesley. Well, he's ruling that Laurie Daly threw them all away, looking for a penalty there.
That was Steve Renouf going through. Once again on his inside was Andrew Ettenhausen, Laurie Daly on his outside.
So, Great Britain, good defence there. They've got to haul themselves back into the game. Robinson playing the ball to himself, no one marking him. Lazarus holding down there, I think. Farrell.
Ray, the player causing Great Britain a lot of trouble is Dean Pay. He's soon to be getting behind the play the ball area a lot, and then offloading, standing offloading, and then Australia's going forward from there.
Mullins. There is Dean Pay, one of the revelations on this tour, a much unknown forward.
As if there weren't enough problems for Great Britain, the police have gone into the crowd on the north lower side of the ground because there's somebody in there with a whistle, and it's rather distracting the players at times. John Holsworth, the referee in charge at the side, has asked the police to sort it out for him.
Lazarus. Getting through a lot of work, this number 8 prop, Lazarus, known as the Brick, back in Australia. And once again we see an Australian there coming away from the play of the ball. Daly, this wide expansive game, Meninga, this is good rugby. Keeping it moving again, back to Daly. Puts the pressure again. Gratefully accepted by Stedman.
That was great play by Australia there. They ran it on the last tackle. They could have used the kick, but they decided to go through the hands first. And when there was nothing left, there was no attacking options left, then they put the kick in.
Offside. Mr. Annesley allowing advantage there, but Great Britain not really moving forward. And and that's not a good kick. That's really should have found touch. Picked up very, very easily by Wishart. Great Britain losing a lot of concentration.
Ray, in the first game, Mark Nafai was taken up running in the forwards. Today doesn't seem like he wants to run the ball.
No, I've hardly seen him. He needs a chance to get out on the outside, though. They need to get the ball wider to him.
Number 15 there. Barry McDermott waiting to come on. Eager to get into the action. And it looks as if Carl Harrison is going to come off, although I don't think the big Halifax prop wants to come off. But instructions are that he does come off. Got a problem with a split in the mouth. So I think this will be a blood bin for Carl Harrison. Just mouth bleeding. Just confirmed by the referee, Graham Annesley. Great Britain doctor, Zaman, just inspecting Harrison's mouth there. And Barry McDermott, the youngster. Great Britain have been penned in this half, Steve. They just don't seem to be able to get out.
They can't, because when they've had the ball, they've made too many mistakes, like when Gary Schofield failed to find touch. It's on again.
And once again, this high tackling leading to scenes like this, scenes that don't do any good for the game. The touch judges in there, Mr. Ward, Mr. Duckworth, doing the best to separate these big players, and McDermott having to be restrained by Steadman.
Bradley Clyde went into the tackle. It was high. And then Walters took exception to it and followed in.
Yep, that's another high tackle again from Barry McDermott, and the Australians naturally incensed by that sort of behaviour. But again, we see Dean Pay there putting a punch or two in. Again, there's no need for players to join action like this.
It was bad from Barry McDermott and the high tackle, but there's no need for to retaliate like Steve Walters there. You don't have to do that. The referee will sort out who he's going to penalise, who he's not. I think, yeah, there's some sin bins now, and it's about time.
And McDermott, well, it looks to be sin bin. No card, red or yellow, has gone up in the air, but referee Annesley put both hands in the air, so McDermott, within seconds of coming on, leaves the field in disgrace.
That certainly was a short spell for Barry. But Australia get the penalty as well now, and it's in front of the post, and I'm sure they'll gladly accept it and take the 2 points here.
Joe, he's shaking his head there, but I mean, he's done the wrong thing. He's gone on there, he's trying to do a job for Great Britain, and he's sent off. That's just one thing they didn't need.
That's right, Steve. I'm sure he was just frustrated. He wanted to be on from the start. He's sitting on the bench. He's seen his teammates go behind. He gets on. He's just a little bit overzealous, and you know, causes the penalty. I'm sure he regrets it now.
And Steve Walters sent to the sin bin after McDermott for moving in when there was no need to do so. But it's this indiscipline which costs points, and rightly so. Just over 52 minutes gone, and Australia in complete control here. And I don't think having 12 men either side will particularly suit Great Britain. Not the way these Kangaroos are moving the ball around. Wishart from underneath the posts. 2 points. Rod Wishart justifying Bobby Fulton's selection, adding the conversion. 26-4 to Australia.
Wishart's kick, it's only 2 points, but it takes Australia 22 points clear, and that's a hell of a hill to come back for Great Britain to climb to go back into this game.
Meninga. Lazarus. And at number 14 there, Alan Langer just slipped on the field. Petler. Cronimo departing. Stewarts. And a lot of problems there for Ellery Hanley and his assistant coach. Chris Joynes. Great Britain desperately trying to force their way back into this game, but they've got to move this ball about. Dennis Betts. Well stopped by Clyde. Schofield. Farrell, at last, a gap to Schofield. The little chip kick through. Connolly's going for it. Oh, is he in there? No, is the touch judge? His flag is raised. The corner flag goes down. The foot has been in touch. Referee Graham Annesley restraining Gary Schofield there, but touch judge Mr. Ward on the spot.
Gary Schofield as well here after the ball off Andrew Farrell. Comes to the fullback and a little chip over. It's a little bit close to the touchline. But Gary Connolly is able to collect it. Now, does his foot go in touch here before he puts the ball down? Yes, I think it was the right decision there.
Good decision from Mr. Ward, but at least some adventure from Great Britain, sparked by Schofield. That's the sort of play, really, Steve, Great Britain have got to put on, isn't it?
They have. There's a lot of talk about Gary Schofield, his form in club matches. Gary Schofield is one I was talking about before, big game players. He's a class player, and in big games he'll come to the top.
Mr. Annesley keeping a very, very big gap between these two teams, and it's suiting Australia, and especially this man Daly. Tipped as the heir apparent as skipper for... Oh, an interception! Well, there'll be some talk about that decision from Mr. Annesley. Mr. Annesley judging that Gary Schofield was not lined in front of the Kangaroo playing the ball. We'll see that in a moment.
He was to the side. You could see there he did step out before. I mean, I'm biased, Steve. You know, I thought that was a try when I saw it the first time. But watching the replay, Gary just stepped out to the left of the marker.
You can see there, he's definitely offside. Never behind the first marker, Gary, and he couldn't. Definitely not a try. Right decision there.
Yes, the second marker at the play of the ball must line up behind the first marker. Gary Schofield had edged out to the left, anticipating, but penalised. And the result of that indiscretion, a further penalty from Mr. Annesley.
Two important decisions, one by the touch judge and one by the referee, but both correct. Both cancelled out tries for Great Britain, possible tries for Great Britain, but the decisions were the right ones to make.
But certainly Gary Schofield has sort of raised the tempo on the Great Britain side, Steve.
Well, he has. He's trying things. In the first half, they never tried things. They were going one out, and they got a little bit lethargic. They got behind. He's come on and he has tried things. Even though a couple of them hadn't worked out for him, at least he's going forward all the time.
Rod Wishart certainly getting plenty of kicking practice here at Old Trafford. Not on target with that one, though. Score remaining the same, 26-4 for Australia. Fittler always looking to offload the ball. Plenty of running in these Kangaroo forwards now, as one would expect. They're in the lead, cruising at the moment. Even prop forwards like this now, putting an extra yard of pace on. Lazarus, Langer, Stewart, Daly. Well picked up by Mullins.
You see there, though, he was looking round all the time. When the tackle was being made, he was looking round for support play. They're looking to offload the ball on every opportunity.
Dean Pay, Renouf on the fifth tackle. Langer looks for Stewart, beats Goulding. Oh, delightful pass there to Ettingshausen. The high kick on Steadman. Well taken by Steadman. Very brave take there. Very brave take with the Kangaroo defenders coming up. And a penalty. Australia not retiring at that play of the ball. Quickly taken by Great Britain. Great Britain have got to do things very, very quickly now, Steve.
They have. They can't take till they haven't got time. They need to score a few tries, so they've got to do things at a fast pace.
Great Britain using the prop Mick Cassidy for Chris Joynt. To Dennis Betts. Good run by Betts. He's got Clark inside him. Gets it to Robinson. Robinson cuts inside. But again, good defence by the Kangaroos. 3 green and gold jerseys there. But this is better from Great Britain. Looking for a try. Goulding, Schofield. Long pass again to Newlove. We've got space on the outside. Well picked up by Lee Jackson. Can't get it away. Does do. Newlove. He's a big lad. And he scored! Paul Newlove drives in there. He uses the size of his frame. And Britain at last reply. And they do, as we've been suggesting, move the ball around. They trouble the Australians out wide. And the try is there.
It's the first real time, Ray, that they've stretched the Australians. First they took it to the right-hand side, and a quick series of passes took it back to the left-hand side. And it's the first occasion, really, that Australia was stretched. They kept that ball alive, like we've suggested. With a few passes in, and the tackle looked like it was been completed. And then Paul Newlove off the substitutes bench. Power a little bit of a step, finds the opening, and crashes over.
Kick for Bobby Goulding. Just inside the 20-metre area, the youngster composing himself. Great Britain need 2 points here, but I'm afraid it's struck just wide of the post. So the score 26 points to 8, but at last on the hour Newlove puts some fight back into Great Britain.
A couple of plays before this try, you'll see here Lee Jackson offloads, and Paul Newlove, he shows good skills here, steps back in, and then all power to get over the line. But Gary Schofield threw a couple of real nice passes, 2 passes, once to the right, then when they went back to the left, and got Great Britain going there, I thought.
Ben Steadman, Farrell. So here we see Newlove driving in. He can run, but he's also got a tremendously powerful upper body strength that carries him through. And there is another powerful upper body strength on Renouf. Carl Harrison. Schofield. Gary Schofield really beginning this Great Britain side moving now. Dennis Betts is coming away again. He's got men lined up either side. Gary Connolly. Where's the wingman gone? Jason Robinson had to move in field, but that was good covering by Rod Wishart. Great Britain on the attack. Schofield, the ball to Steadman. Oh, knocked on by Newlove. In actual fact, the pass was very, very ambitious. Perhaps if Graham Steadman had not put in such a long pass, Joe.
But they had to get it wide again. It's exactly the same thing that they did for the previous try, where they took it right and then spun it back left. Steadman realised he had to get it out there fast because the Australians were sliding across in defence.
There's a couple of good passes again from Gary Schofield, the one to Betts when he made the break, and then another long one to Steadman.
Dennis Betts coming off with some running repairs. And Barry McDermott returning. Well, let's hope we see more sensible tackling. But all credit to Great Britain, they really are raising their game. They're taking it to the Australians now, and it's this man Schofield who's leading the attack. Daly. Almost through. Lorimo, Meninga. Clyde. Australia just settling the game down. They've had a fight or two in the last few minutes. Fickler, this time to Renouf. And looked after by Robinson, and Dennis Betts there with a thumb injury. 40-yard pass there to Daly. Well, the 2 players slipping on the pitch, whether their studs are too short or not. Stewart. Ooh, just picked up by Mick Cassidy, and a good run by the Wigan lad. He's lost it. Stewart again. Oh, the ball has got out there to Kangaroo. He's got Renouf inside him. Renouf will stroll in. He does. Great Britain moved in very, very quickly for the tackling midfield. It created the space out wide. Renouf gratefully accepts. The Brisbane Broncos flyer. 5 test tries in his career. And 30 points to 8 now for Australia.
We've just seen the strength of the Australians. They seem to have settled it down to a point in the game down. Mick Cassidy turned the ball over. There's a half chance and Australia's take it and score. You cannot relax at all with the Australians. You cannot give them any time on the ball, and you cannot make mistakes, or they'll punish you, as Steve Renouf does on this occasion.
I think we've seen the Australians pick up these loose balls, snap them up very, very quickly when a mistake has been made, Steve.
It has, but the mistake was Gary Connolly. He's played well, as I said. His defence, especially the first half, was great. But in the second half there, he comes in off his seat. Phil Clark had Laurie Daly there. He's come in and left a big hole there, and Florimo's gone straight through it there. He should have stayed out wide on his man.
And Renouf completes the movement. Rod Wishart again. Just 16 metres out. And presenting no problem to the Illawarra Steelers kicker. And those Kangaroo fans confident, I think, now of levelling this series. 32-8 for Australia.
The ball goes out wide. Gary Connolly does come in to tail Daly. Phil Clark had to switch off then, and he had no chance of turning to catch Florimo. And then watch Florimo here, a little inside ball to stop the defence sliding across and taking him. And it's walking day there for Renouf.
13 minutes remaining then in this second John Smith's test. A third and final test in a couple of weeks at Ellen Road. And shown here, well, on Sunday grandstand. Oh, and again another break by Brad Fickler. He's put that kick in left-footed for Laurie Daly. It's a chase between Daly and the ball just rolls over the touching goal line. And he's hurt his leg as he went over there. It looks to be the side of his knee. He has had a dead leg problem after the Wembley test. Farrell charging in, and he's certainly in a lot of pain, is Laurie Daly. He may have crashed into those advertising boards. Lee Jackson. McDermott was looking to try to pass that ball, but no one was about. Lee Jackson now then gets it moving again to Schofield. Schofield, Cassidy, they've got a 2-1 here. Renouf knocks it down, another 6 more tackles surely. Robinson. And Laurie Daly in great pain. Clark. Well, Great Britain determined not to go under without a fight. With a knock-on.
Well, when things are not going right, this is what happens. Great Britain about to launch an attack. This is where Laurie Daly, after chasing the kick, well, he must have just twisted it. He didn't collide with the boards with his knee. Maybe he just fell from it. It's certainly in the knee area.
I think he tried to stop himself going into the boards and then twisted it, didn't he?
He did. He seemed to come up on both knees there, and he's looking at a bit of a hole. Might have been a hole or something in the ground there.
Malmeninger adopting the standoff roll, gets it to Mullins. Oh, surely nobody will catch this man. The Canberra Raiders flyer straight through. It was Meninga who took the tackles on him, slipped the ball, and Brett Mullins, a sensation down under last season, in for the try. Comprehensive victory for Australia. They've certainly answered that first Wembley test.
Mistake again by Great Britain. They give Australia the possession. Two in the tackle with Meninga, slips a beautiful ball over his shoulder, and Mullins paced straight through the gap for his second try. You can put that one out to Mal Meninga, though. He held off the tackles of two players there, two Great Britain players, to slip a beautiful ball over his shoulder.
There were some that in the first test that said that Mal didn't have the best of games in the first test, and thought he might have struggled to get a spot in the second test, but he certainly played well today.
He certainly has answered his critics. He made this try for Mullins, and it was very interesting to notice how late he moved into that stand-off position. I think he took Great Britain by surprise, Steve.
Yeah, he did. He's a powerful player, and it's just, you know, you can't let players like that stand and offload. I think that's been one of Great Britain's biggest problems today, the amount of times that the Australian players have stood and offloaded the ball.
Wishart looking for a seventh goal and finding it. Laurie Daly, he really does seem troubled with injuries. On the 1990 tour, he only managed 5 matches. He received a dead leg at Wembley. Now a nasty twist to the knee. But a fine player. Just over 8 minutes remaining, and really a containing task here for Great Britain. Australia rampant and coming away from the play the balls, Joe.
They're making yards. We mentioned before that Australia were passing the ball more than in the first test. Great Britain in this test are making far too many mistakes. In the first test, the defence was superb, and they're just hanging off tackles in this game.
Number 17 there was Paul Sirenen, a late substitute change this morning for David Furley. Just move quietly onto the pitch. Florimo, Fittler, he's got Sirenen inside him. Oh, picked up by Lee Jackson. Good anticipation there from the Sheffield Eagles hooker. Cassidy. Well, Mick Cassidy looking for support, nobody there, Steve.
Nobody at all there, he was all on his own. He looked around and everybody just stood there and said, go on Mick, have a run.
Lee Jackson, outstanding in the first test, but just look at that possession and territorial advantage. Only one side in it at the moment.
Well, this is the type of game that Australia like to play. They've had all the ball, they've had all the pressure on Great Britain, and they've come away and scored the tries as well.
A mistake on Great Britain's part. Picked up by Stewart there from the Schofield slip. Sirenen. And not a bright prospect to see this 17-stone giant come on when you're trailing by 30 points. Very experienced test player, Balmain, second row. Fittler. Rubber kick should be covered, it is, by Jason Robinson. And it's a good run out by Robinson. Lively customer. Had a good game, Joe.
He has, he's worked hard, he's tried his best. If only we could have seen a little bit more of him.
McDermott, nice sidestep for a prop forward there. And a good pass to Stedman. Great Britain keeping it going. Cassidy. Goulding trying to move that ball out wide to Farrell. The fire certainly been looked after this afternoon. Gary Connolly. Nice flick back to Robinson. But not much progress. Goulding. And on the fifth tackle. The space out wide. If a fire, let it go. Schofield. Now then. Stedman. Ettingshausen's there, but he's tackled behind. It'll be a drop out beneath the post. There was a chance there, I think, if Martin Offiah had let that ball go straight away.
Yes, it chose to take it, and Stutter's you know, he was going around on his own, and he should have let the ball go out wide, and they might have had a chance to attack.
But a chance for another sequence of 6 tackles for Great Britain. 5 minutes remaining. Great Britain looking for a consolation try or two. Stedman. Phil Clark. Never stopped working. Jackson. Well, certainly, I think Lee Jackson was more than interfered with on the ground there. Mr. Hammersley, well, 14, 15 metres back. I don't think saw what happened.
Might have been a little bit of a punch going in here. Cernan is second man in the tackle.
And a penalty to Great Britain against Suriname. Interference at the play of the ball. Schofield moving it again to Clark. Connolly's outside here. Shrugs off Clyde. Doesn't remove Walters. Harrison keeps it moving. Lee Jackson, but Great Britain are grouped in midfield. Schofield. Robinson. Just 8 metres now from this Australian line. Goulding. That's a ball to Farrell, but just again held by the ankle. 5 metres from Australia, but Great Britain showing some good rugby now. Goulding, touched by the Australian there, but well held by Mullins. And Australia just content to hold the ball, taking their time at these play the balls. They know victory in the bag. The Ashes series wide open. Florimo.
You can just see in the background there, Glenn Lazarus got his hands on his knees, he's down, he's tired. But I tell you what, he's given it plenty today. They might have said he mightn't have been fit enough, but he's worked hard for the entire time he's been on there.
Paul Sirenen, one with fresh legs. Fittler looking for support. He's got Renouf inside of it. There is Renouf. Still they keep it moving. Ettingshausen, the dummy. And the penalty. Obstruction. Ettingshausen moving into Rod Wishart.
Well, this time the Australians tackle each other. That's the first for this game. Great Britain couldn't get near him, and the Australian Wishart tackles him.
I don't agree with that penalty. It wasn't obstruction. I think if you obstruct the tackler, it should be penalised. There was no tackler being obstructed there.
With the Dennis Betts on the Great Britain bench, Dennis, the Australians irresistible again, aren't they?
Well, they just played better than we did. One weekend it can all go right for you, the next it can all go wrong. I think they just punished our mistakes this time, and we've got a lot, so we can learn a lot from this game, and I'm sure we can improve.
Take it to Leeds, what you learn, I suppose.
Definitely now, it makes it that little bit more exciting with a 1-1 series on the last game, so we can learn a lot from this, and we can try and work on some mistakes that we fell down on today.
Thanks, Dennis.
Schofield spreading it wide. Farrell, certainly this is not a test series for the faint-hearted. Great Britain dominant at Wembley. Australia very, very much so here. Inside the last minute now. 60 seconds remaining. Connolly. Too hard. He'll not be very happy with that, Gary Connolly. Australia just taking their time, wasting these seconds, although really they have no need to. With a scoreline of 38-8, they can probably do what they want.
I don't think they're wasting the seconds, Ray. I think they're tired. A lot of players out there work very hard, and that they're just taking it now. They know they're going through the motions, and that's it.
And a coach there who's worked very hard, Bobby Fulton, in midweek to really restore the Kangaroos to this invincible machine. Not for nothing are they known as the world champions. They're not going to hand this crown over very, very easily. Every one of these green and golds wants to be on the action, and Gary Hetherington and Ellery Hanley there in contemplative mood, plenty to ponder over the next week. Clyde. Two tackles remaining in this sequence, but Australia content to move the ball out. Stewart. Brenner. Back to Stewart. What an influence he's had on this game. The Canberra Raiders scrum half, number 7 there. At the hub of things. Fittler. Number 13, the man of the match. Attempt at drop goal, but not successful on this occasion. The Penrith loose forward, outstanding on this tour. Robinson, one lad who's never stopped trying for Great Britain. Cassidy. I think, as you say, Steve, some very, very tired lads out there. It's been a bruising battle, hasn't it?
It has been a bruising battle. Both teams have worked hard, and they're feeling the pinch now. Stedman,
Connolly. And there is something of the extent that Great Britain have had to put up, 123 tackles.
That's it, that tells a story.
McDermott. He's good step, this lad. He's got a good side step, but there's the hooter. Once again, as we saw in 1990, this man, Ricky Stewart, to my mind, with number 13, Brad Fittler there, engineered Great Britain's defeat. They've levelled the Test series here at Old Trafford, 38 points to 8, and the world champions' crown is certainly not slipping yet. 5 times they've lost the first Test, only to go on and win the next 2 and take the Ashes. At last, something for those travelling fans from down under to cheer about. Andrew Ettingshausen, that try with Meninga, a superb effort. And Jason Robinson, the number 2 there for Wigan. He's given everything. But Dean Pay, for my mind, the outstanding front 5 forward in this Kangaroo side. And the Kangaroos, as well they might, go across for the accolades.
Phil Clark, that was a different Australia this afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, they certainly bounced back very strongly and overwhelmed us on the day.
You gave them a couple of bonuses in the first half, but after that it was 100% rugby from Australia.
Yeah, they played very well, as we've said, formidable side, and it all points now to an exciting third Test.
You wouldn't have expected to concede 30-odd points, though, would you?
No, a bit disappointed in that, but that's something we've got to work on for the next game.
Yes, there's a lot of repair work to be done for Leeds, I imagine.
Yes, as you say, it's 1-1 now, and all to play for both sides.
A lot of people will leave here thinking that it's all over for Great Britain in this series. Could they be wrong?
We'll have to wait and see when we come to Leeds in 2 weeks' time.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Phil Clark still very, very confident. I think those lucky enough to have tickets in 2 weeks' time with Ellen Road are in for a treat. But of course, we'll be here with Grandstand, and I sometimes and somehow think we are really in for a great 80 minutes. Laurie Daly there, the Kangaroo backroom staff will be working hard on him.
The man of the match for Australia, Brad Fittler, congratulations. That was a very different Australia.
Mate, I think that's the best you'll see Australia play. England, I think they proved in the first game they're a much closer outfit. Forwards are tougher and their backs are quicker. So, I reckon the boys really played well tonight, considering the criticism we've copped over the last couple of weeks.
You seem to come out really fired up in the second half, as if you wanted to rub it in.
That's it, mate. As Bozo, he warned us that England would come back and they put Scurry on. He's like a real individual player. He can change a game, so, you know, we're pretty wary.
What about the confidence? Is it going to be a foregone conclusion of the decider?
Oh, you know, well, we're going to have to put the same preparation in. You know, England come back stronger, and I think it's just set up for, you know, a fantastic last game.
Take some of the pain away from losing at Wembley?
Oh, yeah. Tough.
Thanks to our commentary team at Old Trafford, and well played Australia, emphatic winners of this second John Smith's test, and the series is all square, one apiece as we go to the third test and the decider, which is at Elland Road, Leeds, tomorrow fortnight, and the whole of Grandstand, Sunday Grandstand, will come from Elland Road that day. But the Australians, mighty impressive this afternoon. 38-3 final score at Old Trafford, and 38-8 final score at Old Trafford. I'm maligning Great Britain, but it was a wonderful Australian performance, and we look forward to the decider in a fortnight's time. Let's switch to the other code now, rugby.